All right, rough and as is. This is the way I got it right here. That's what you're looking at. A Gen 2 Glock 40 caliber, model 22, as they would say. This was laying there at the local gun range, kind of hawk shop, kind of slash gun shop thing deal, but mostly just you go there and you kind of shoot in their indoor range. But they had this laying there, and I've always loved the movie U.S. Marshals, and this is kind of what they got in that movie. And so this is as it was right there in the shelf, and I took it home. I didn't really do much to it. It was one of those, kind of, they got a bunch of them from the, they got them all from the police department, and here it is. So anyway, they're evidence guns, I guess you could say. I even asked them, I said, well, what does that mean? But anyway, no, all joking aside, they're good. They're, you buy them through the FFL, and you do all the paperwork and everything, so they're okay. Anyway, here it is. Usually you don't see a Gen 2 for the $400 marker, and that's kind of that's where I was with it. And of course, with the movie The U.S. Marshals, I kind of wanted to get one. So yeah, it's got some really cool vintage, if you will, if that kind of word can go with this, the Glock. It doesn't have the rail and everything. It doesn't have the finger grooves. It does have that little thumb cut out right there. It does have the lanyard bit here, and they did away with the pebblestone type stippling on it. And from what I understand, also this is the one that caused them to add the extra pin up there. So, all right. And the finish, I believe it's the DLC2. I could be wrong. This is the sights it was on there. I may even just change those out to the original sights just for the heck of it, because I think I just kind of want it for that retro vintage look and everything. Everything seemed pretty sound on it when I got it. So I have not fired this thing. I used to have a 40 caliber Glock many moons ago, very early on in the channel. Some of you may remember it was a Glock 23. So, all right, let's take a look at the barrel. You can see the infamous, definitely been shot a lot. And most of these that you see, they're going to be pretty rough. But this one, rifling or that polygonal or rifling, it seems to be okay. I'm no Glock expert or anything, but they got the original flat extractor right there, everything. The face seems okay. Definitely seen some use, but not bad. I've seen a lot of these where they looked really rough, where they're just pretty much beat to hell, but this one was not. And it's got a couple marks on everything on it, but like I said, I thought for the price and everything, kind of what I wanted to fit that Gen 2, I really wanted to get that Gen 2, and of course it was the U.S. Marshals gun from the movie and everything, so I thought, why the heck not? And there it is. So that's kind of where I landed with it. And you can see all the it's got definitely some scarring on it on this side for sure. I don't know what's going on there, a lot of holster wear and everything. So, but yeah, it's pretty typical. Nothing to write home about, but they are cool. And I'm of course, a smooth face of the trigger. I feel like, for me, I can't even believe I'm saying this. I was once always laughed at this, but the fact is this: the Gen 2s and the Gen 1s, especially the Gen 1s and Gen 2s and stuff, they're getting harder to find in some cases. Most of the time, unless they're trade-ins or whatnot, like this one. But they're getting harder to find, let alone in somewhat decent shape. And I consider this one in somewhat decent shape. It just doesn't look like it's been, dragged through, the mud and ran over by a truck several thousand times. But anyway, they are getting kind of difficult to find, if that makes sense. So I wanted to pick one up and add it to the collection, just for the sake of taking it down the range every now and then. And I always kind of felt the 40 was a little interesting. Not my favorite cartridge, but it's got some cool factors to it. So anyway, there it is. Quick video of it. The Gen 2, rough as it gets, I guess.